Games Workshop's Basement, hosted by John Kirk.
I command you, as King of the Britons, to stand aside. Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
I've had worse.
Victory is mine. We thank thee, Lord, that in thy
Let's talk about Bretonnia, Dickie. I know you're dying to do this.
Yeah, I've loved Bretonnia all my life. They were kind of my second love, I guess. And then they got run it when I got super serious into fantasy. They were the big box set that I picked up, and I was super excited to paint them. And I painted all my knights different colors. It took like 20 years, I think, or 20 to 15 years.
So they're all ready right now, right?
No, they're not. But I'll get a new army. I'm excited. So strength. So definitely movement. With having so much cavalry,
Yeah,
they're
right?
fast. They're fast, and
not just with like the actual movement, but their unique rule to charging. Their war horses get to reroll ones on charge and pursuit rolls.
Yeah, they're very fine war horses, so they deserve the reroll.
The finest.
Yeah. Armor, well, they don't necessarily have any 2-ups in their army. They have a whole bunch of 3-ups. So I think that it does stack up. You do have the peasant mob that helps you out with numbers and rank bonuses, but for the most part, you're bringing knights to do the walloping. Yeah.
But, 3-up, like, generally speaking, over your army is
pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Most things tend to be like -1, so you're going to be saving on 4s. And keep in mind, Bretonians get to pray at the beginning of the game, relinquishing first turn, but they get the blessing of the lady, and that blessing of the lady gives them a 6-up ward save. And if it's strength 5 or more, then you get a 5/6 on top of that. So,
which is awesome.
It is a big deal. Very similar to how Chaos works right now. Chaos Warriors of Chaos. Weaknesses, model count. Well, yeah. So when you have big chunky lances of knights, you don't have too many bros.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a bro deficiency, if you will.
You have a bro. You're under broed. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Ongoing combats were always and will always be the issue with Bretonians, because once they break their lance, they're just a man with a simple sword.
Right.
And that horse is not a hippogriff, or it's definitely not a griffin underneath them, so it's not going to be doing tons of attacks. So yeah, I think with the no. So the lance goes in, does its damage, kills a whole bunch. There's no step up these days, so you're not going to get a lot of attacks back. Hopefully, you're going to win that first round of combat.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it's going to be a dicey sitch for sure.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of the thing. Like, if you only get them to push back like 2 inches because they passed their test, that's really bad for Bretonnia. They need you to fall back in good order so they can keep charging you next turn.
They do.
Like, they need to keep doing that. Otherwise, like, if people actually pass, like, it's a really bad time for them.
Yeah. The good news is a lot of Bretonnian knights have first charge. Which help that a lot. And what that means is at their first charge of the game, they disrupt the opponent. So you're a lot more likely to cause a fallback in good order. So
yeah, and it might be good, like, tactically, right? Like, and this is kind of how they win, is to kind of keep having these consecutive charges.
Yeah.
So, like, having little units in reserve that you can, like, throw back in to like disrupt people again is really cool. If you get bogged down,
Oh, you're gonna get bogged down.
Oh, you're gonna get bogged.
You're gonna get bogged down. How do they win? Well, unlike Empire, they can't really rely on the peasants to do a lot of damage.
Not really.
So they kind of have to do the big gallant charge right down the gut of the the enemy and just hope it
ABC,
goes
baby.
well. Yeah,
Always
always
be
be
charging.
which is an awesome way to play fantasy. And the good news is they can move very fast, and they have cool rules to be able to increase the charge range as well as give them more consistency. So they're really good at it. So yeah, that's how they win. No big changes there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, what units did you pick?
Well, knights, duh, dude.
Duh.
I like Knights of the Realm. I like Knights Errant too. I think they're both good units.
Yep.
Questing Knights are totally good. Grail Knights are questionable a little bit. I just think they're maybe a few too many points for 1 wound, 3 up armor save models. Like 40 points is a lot for a single dude.
Yeah, I've always been a giant fan of Questing Knights. I don't know if they're going to work in this edition. They
I
do
think
have
they will.
They do have great weapons, and they do have the strike last keyword. But the good news is in this edition, they take that that 1 initiative, but then they can add the charge bonus to that. So they will be fighting at initiative 4. So they are an interesting knight option. Obviously, they don't have the same problem with the whole lance. They keep on hitting after the first round. So if there's enough of them, of course, and they're able to.
And of course, Questing Vow gives you stubborn too, so they can kind of stick around. They're kind of like the one knight unit that can just kind of like, all right, we're gonna chill.
We're gonna chill and keep on swinging. Yeah. It's the lack of attacks that it worries me. But I definitely want to see them in action and maybe see if there's any magic options that can make them a little more scary in combat. Squires. The humble yeoman.
Hold on. We got to talk about Peg Knights.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we forgot.
All right. So, Dickie.
Yeah, talk to me.
I just want to kind of describe a unit to you, and you tell me if this sounds good. I don't know.
Yeah, hit me.
All right. So, what if a unit was Monstrous Cavalry? That sounds good, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes Monstrous Cavalry.
Yeah, everybody likes that, right?
Yep.
Well, all right. So what if the Monstrous Cavalry could fly?
That's better than walking, yeah.
All right. What if it was fly 10, the maximum possible distance that you could be?
That's quite a movement range, yes.
What if this unit could also be skirmishers, Dickie?
Wow.
That means that they can charge in any direction. And as long as they actually could make it to where they're charging, they get to fight.
Okay. It sounds like a pretty good unit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Pegasus Knights. So
awesome.
There's still 2 wounds, which is kind of like, I would say, the biggest disadvantage of them. But at 55 points a model, they also have countercharge. They have first charge and furious charge. So all the knights get +1 attack on the turn they charge. They disrupt you when they charge for the first time. And if you charge them, they get to charge you back, which they can do from any direction because it doesn't matter if it's from the front because they're skirmishers.
They're a pretty good unit. And I think you're probably going to be seeing a lot of them in most Bretonnian armies. I don't know if you go whole hog on them. I think 3s seem to be the magic number when I'm thinking about it, but we'll have to see.
I think you want 2 units, but because they can do a bunch of different stuff, which is like they can fight a bunch of different units because they're like you don't get any benefits from the Pegasus. Like they don't get stomped, they don't get like impact hits, that kind of stuff, but they do have 2 strength 5 or strength 6 attacks because the knights are strength 4 as well.
Yep.
Which is better than a normal knight.
Yep.
Strength 4, so they're strength 6 on the charge. With like 3 of them puts out 7 attacks. That's great.
Yep.
Like for just killing chaff and that kind of stuff. Plus, then you get another 6 Pegasus attacks at strength 4. So I really like these guys. And 3 up armor. 5 up ward against stuff that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
I think with the with this edition, there's not as many options for redirectors. There are some really good ones, but these are probably too expensive to be considered a redirector, but definitely have the ability to reach out and touch something for sure.
Yeah, and look, everything can be a redirector if you get desperate enough, Dickie. So,
baby.
Never say never, because I always find that I am willing to sacrifice almost anything if it'll get me an advantageous place in the game. So, they don't mean that much to me in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, that's just
they
sad.
Never do.
That's just sad.
Okay, the last thing I put on here is squires. Like I said, I wasn't sure if I put that on there. Yeah, mounted yeoman would be in a very similar category to this.
Yep.
Squires are great. They're very cheap. They can buy scout. They have Vanguard naturally. So if you just wanted to pay 35 points for 5 guys with Vanguard, you could do that instead. That's also very good.
What is Vanguard this edition, Danny?
That's a free move before the game starts.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And they have longbows, which are better than most other bows. So
they do have longbows, actually.
Yeah.
I've been having
That's kind of a neat thing about Peasant Bowman. Peasant Bowman being 5 points a model with longbows is actually kind of cool if you had a lot of them.
Yeah.
And them being able to be skirmishers and just kind of like sticking them, like with it, if you're not going to buy the stakes and stuff anyway, right? And having all 20 of them be able to shoot all the time is really good.
Yep. You can make them flaming attacks as well. Which is pretty awesome for you Tomb King fans.
Yeah, if you think you're going to kill, I mean, they'd be really good at killing chariots, probably. I would say.
I think so too. Yep, I think the yeomen, whether squires on the ground with bows or on horseback as redirectors,
as fast cavalry, those guys have great rules. They're also skirmishers. They're also very fast. They have Vanguard.
You can pay for fire and feign, so you can stand and shoot and then flee.
And they don't have Vanguard, but they have freaking reserve move, which is like one of the best rules in the whole game. So they get to move at the end of the shooting phase again if they didn't.
Exactly. So cool. So they can kind of get a Vanguard just by shooting. No, they're super. I think they're super versatile. You're probably going to see 2 units of mounted yeomen in almost every list, I think, and definitely archers for sure.
Yep.
I have a magic item. Do you have a magic item that you want to talk about?
No, go ahead. Yeah, tell me about your magic item.
Oh man, there's so many good magic items. You know what? I think I'm going to go humble because I want to talk about 2 magic. I'm greedy. I want to talk about 2 magic items. I want to talk about one here and then one on my list. All right. Let's talk about the Heartwood Lance. Okay. Heartwood Lance has been around forever. It's been in 6th edition, been in 8th edition. I'm pretty sure it's been in 7th edition because it was just 600 rules.
It's been in there a lot.
But it's just +3 strength, plus I think it's -3 magic attacks.
Yep.
That's all it is. No big deal. But it's super cheap. It works perfectly with Virtue of the Joust.
Right. By the way, Bretonnians have 13 different virtues that you can customize their characters with.
Right. And they're all
so many.
They're all very good. We'll talk about one in my list, but we're for the most part, you're going to be taking them to do better. So characters being able to charge better, or for instance, there's one that you can go into a unit of peasant bowmen or peasants to give them your leadership, which is super awesome as well.
So this one's great, right?
Yeah, go.
It's 70 points. It gives you anytime you charge, it gives you plus D3 attacks and hatred of everyone. So you get to reroll misses in the first round of combat. Like,
turns out rerolls and more attacks is really good in this edition.
Yeah. So if you have, say, like, Heartwood Lance, right? You turn your normally meek 4-attack Baron into potentially 7 strength 7 -3 attacks.
He's just a man.
To hit.
He's just a man.
Just unbelievable. You've never seen power like this before.
You've never seen power like this before.
But you could combo it up with a bunch. You can combo that up with a bunch of different stuff. Like there's different magic weapons. There's actually Bretonnias, I think, have a lot of really great defensive magic items. They have 2 different items between the Arcane Journal and their actual book that give them immunity to multiple wounds, which is really cool on characters on Pegasus because they can just fly around and be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, shoot me. Okay. Well, I'm only going to take 1 wound from your cannonball, and then I'm going to charge your cannon and mess it up.
All right, Danny. I wanted to talk about a magic spell called the Lady's Gift.
Hell yeah.
What do you think a lady should give people, Danny?
Well, I feel like she's about reconciliation, healing, really making things better for the common people, maybe regenerating some of their atrophied limbs.
I'm glad you read the notes, Danny.
Yeah.
So, Lady's Gift, if you cast on a 7+, gives a unit of your choosing a 6+ regeneration save.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
as we know, you get to take the regeneration after the armor save. So
after ward saves.
That's right. Just a double up. Just a double up.
Double up.
Yeah.
Make another wound gate, buddy.
And if you roll a 10+, it's a 5+ regeneration.
Heck yeah. That's another double up there.
You like that?
Do you double your double? So what is this? A quadruple stack?
Let's do this.
It makes your unit 4 times the stuff. I think that's the math.
Well, you know what? 4 times tough knights or 4 times tough peasants is a good deal. Even though I don't think the peasants are going to hurt too much.
They're trying, man.
They're trying their best.
I like the Lady's Wrath. I think that's my favorite one.
You would. Talk to me about Lady's Wrath.
Yeah, Lady's Wrath is an enchantment that remains in play, and the caster, their mount, and any unit that they've joined get +1 to their strength characteristics.
Yep.
And improve the armor piercing characteristic of their weapons by 1. That's a heck of a spell.
It's a good sell indeed. Sell indeed.
Casting value 9 means you need on a level 2 is only going to get it off a little bit more than half the time, and then it might get dispelled. But a level 4 is casting this significantly more often.
All right, let's go to list.
All right, yeah, let's talk about it. I hope you like my list. I hope it's not trash. It's sort of trashy. Oh, and this is your list.
Is this my list?
Yeah, this is your list.
Oh, it's my list. Of course it's not trash. It's so good. All right, Danny. I really wanted to have fun. This is an Exiles army. So you need the secondary book that went on pre-order. But there's a good reason to take this book. First of all, it has special characters in it, like the Green Knight. Pretty good.
Yep. Really cool.
It also has 2 separate detachments that you can take. And as you know, Danny, the detachments are kind of cool to play with, right? You used one in your Tomb King's army.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the different benefits and things like that. And they kind of make the army play in a whole new way. Yeah. So Bretonnian has 2. They have this one, the Exiles, and they also have the Errantry Royalist for a lot of Knights Errant, if you like that one.
Both super fluffy, super cool. So what this is trying to do is have a Border Prince army. So there's certain restrictions, like, for instance, you can't take Grail Knights. Well, Danny, you didn't like them, so guess what? I think this is the list for you, or this is the attachment for you.
If they're too fancy, they're too fancy for me. I want something more down to earth, like a bunch of guys with shotguns.
Yes.
You have that, Dickie? Is that in the army list?
I have so many shotguns, Danny. In fact, I had to hold myself back from taking more.
I changed my mind about which army is the Hills Have Eyes. It's this Bretonnian army.
This is definitely it. Okay, so let's talk about my Baron. So we already talked about Knightly Temper, but his axe, which definitely isn't the heads. It's not the heads.
No, that was my mistake. That was a transcription error.
Yeah, that was clearly your error. I'm pulling up the name right now. It was something lame. I think it was just like something axe.
It's the Frontier Axe, dude.
The Frontier Axe.
He's your character. Your Baron on Royal Pegasus is Paul Bunyan.
He's Paul Bunyan, yeah. He's also super awesome at killing things. So he's just a normal Baron. just running through his life. He's got the knightly temper, so you get your D3 extra attacks. He rerolls all hits on the in
Nice.
combat. But the Frontier X gives +2 strength, so he's going to be strength 6, and -3, so -3 to armor saves. Pretty good. It's a magical
Nice.
attack, and it's multiple damage 2.
AP -3 and strength +2. That's pretty nasty.
This guy's cutting down some trees, bro.
Oh yeah, he's gonna kill some guys.
He's gonna kill some guys. And you know what? That's why I put him on the Royal Pegasus, because I wanted him to be fluid and be able to move around the terrain and the board as he see fit. Now my Paladin, he's okay. He's just a battle standard bear. I wanted to note the one cool thing about Bretonnians is battle standard bears. You don't have to pay for the upgrade because
Yeah, it's free.
It's just free. So that's a big deal in a points game. Really he's got the virtue.
That's a 25. Your army is actually 2,025 points actually. And so you may not be cheating with the rules, but in your heart, you know you are, Dickie, by taking that free battle standard.
Virtue of the Impetuous Knight. What this rule does is it gives it to the whole unit, which is awesome. It increases your maximum possible charge by 3 inches, just a flat 3 inches. And that charge, you get to make a +D3 modifier to the result.
Nice.
ABC, baby.
Yeah, and with Impetuous, you may not have a choice.
Yeah, so what is the Impetuous rule? It can't be that bad, right?
Well, if you roll a dice during the charge phase, if you roll a 4 or better, you're good. You can do whatever you want. If you roll 1, 2, or 3, though, you have to declare a charge if there's a unit in charge range. Even if it's at the very end of your charge range and you might not make it, you still have to declare the charge.
All right. And then charge your reactions.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Well, he's impetuous, and that's when I made the list, and that's what I'm going to gosh darn play with. So
hey, but look, they're going to go into something, and they're probably going to make it because. So okay, so like the math on this always works out. Max charge range. Well, I guess for yours it's going to be different.
Yeah, because
that might be weird. I still think it's good. You just have to kind of really. So what you would have to do with this unit, I think, is block it off with your other friendly units, and you've got mounted yeomen and that kind of stuff that can do that. So I wouldn't really worry about that. I think that's still a good unit.
He's gonna be fine. He's obviously going in with some Mounted Knights of the Realm. I really like Mounted Knights of the Realm. They have first charge. They have counter charge. Man, they're super awesome. They're cheaper than the other options. There's obviously no Grail Knights in this list because it's an exile army. I wasn't brave enough to put my questing knights in there. Maybe Danny can help me with a questing knight army one day.
Absolutely.
But man, oh man, I love me some Mounted Knights of the Realm. We missed the Outcast Wizard. Sorry. I had such trouble with the Outcast Wizard. Again, like you, what spell lore does he bring?
Yeah. And he can take like anything, except for high magic or Wa magic too. So
it's one of the cool reasons that I wanted to bring this list is because I wanted to feel like Bretonnia, but I also kind of wanted to have a new feel to it, right? So, and that Outcast Wizard really does that. He's not perfect. He's got the Silver Mirror. What the Silver Mirror does is it actually hurts things if he dispels. So he rolls 3d6 on the dispel, and if he gets you, then he causes a hit on you. I think it's a strength 4 something. Let me see.
Yeah, strength 4 -1.
Yeah, on a wizard.
That's really
and
nice.
usually they don't have a lot of armor, right? So
no, wizards can't usually take armor at all.
Yeah, so it's usually a nice little thing. Some spellers I was thinking about was the battle magic. Being able to give a unit of my shotgun wielding hillbillies reroll 1s to hit is really good. As well as I was even looking at the demonology, being able to give a unit like extra attack and hatred and stuff like that is
you can make those yeomen like pretty nasty.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's an interesting. It's something I'm gonna have to play with and see. Also, there's a lot of teleportation spells that you can take advantage of, like that knight with the headsman axe, or the not the headsman, the frontier axe, being able to teleport him anywhere on the board. pretty good.
That'd be pretty scary because it's going to be really hard to avoid a charge from that model, especially if it teleports into the right place.
That's right. We have 15 bowmen. They have volley fire, so they can shoot in 2 ranks, which was my thought. I gave them full command. I'm kind of rethinking that, but oh well, full command. And they have the stakes. I really like stakes in this edition. It actually converts a disordered charge to unit charging them.
That's pretty cool.
Which is super awesome. They also have fire arrows because screw Danny's undead things. I want to set them on fire.
Rude.
So, yeah.
All right, dude. I see how it is.
Yep. Challenge. We have 20 yeomen or men at arms.
These guys are better, right? Like,
yeah, they are better.
You have
These
the special ones.
Yeah, they hit a bit better. They're not as armored, but they have some cool benefits as well. So there's 20 guys. There's one of the priest guys in there that makes them stubborn, which is super awesome.
Sure.
I'm sure he's not getting killed right away in combat. And then we have 5 mounted yeomen. I kept it relatively cheap with them, but they do have the fire and flee, which I think is a really good rule.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then we have 2 units of Pegasus Knights, full command. You got to bring them. I just think they're really important to the list. A trebuchet. Yep. And did someone say Bretonnian cannon? Because I'm bringing one.
Cool.
It's not as great as the Great Cannon. It's probably on par with a Dwarven Cannon, to be honest. So it's strength 8, neg 2, D3 plus 1 damage, though. So
it's just D3 damage.
It's just 3-3. Okay, sure. Screw it.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe it has different stats.
Who knows?
I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It is D3 plus 1 damage and AP minus 3. That's cool. So it's like in between the Dwarf Cannon and the Empire Cannon.
Yeah, it's a really awesome. I thought it was really cool to add a cannon. In fact, I have a lot of options for models that I'm looking at. So yeah, and now the whole purpose of this list that I probably should have made them 20s, but heck, I'm gonna play with them. The brigands with blunderbusses.
Oh, those guys are cool.
They're so cool.
So what do they do? I see that they've got scout and they've got blunderbusses. What's a blunderbuss do?
So each model, and I've verified this with the rules designers, each model has to roll D3 shots, or before the shooting phase, and that's how many shots they get to shoot with. The other cool thing is they don't take a minus for multi-shot, and I don't believe they take a minus for shooting at long range.
Or stand and shoot.
Or standing and shooting, because that's what they're doing the next turn right after they're within in front of your army. I just thought they were so cool. The reason I put a champion in there is because he has a better ballistic skill by 1. So I'm gonna put a whole bunch of guys with just shotguns in front of your army and shoot the living bejeebus out of something.
That's pretty cool.
They're strength 3, so they're not strength 4, but I think they are neg 1.
They are minus 1 AP, yeah. And they have volley fire too.
They have volley
fire.
So
if you were ranked up, half the guys in the second rank would be able to shoot.
So I think it's a cool little play. I don't know if it'll be good. I think it's going to throw a lot of DACA. So 10 D3 shots. The reason I was thinking about battle magic with these guys is being able to reroll 1s to hit.
Sure, with like Curse of Arrow attraction.
Yeah,
nice. That's pretty cool. That's a spell that you can cast on someone.
Yeah, so I think that's really interesting. I don't know. I really like these guys. So I'm hoping they work. And if they work really well, I may bring them up to 20s. So
cool.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they seem really great. So these guys are cool, right?
Yep.
I do think that. However, I'm way more excited if these are the same blunderbuss rules that Chaos Dwarves are going to get, then like I'm real stoked about that. Because that sounds like a core choice for them. And yeah, that sounds pretty nasty. 12-inch range is rough.
12-inch range is rough. Thank God they scout. They actually, you can either scout or vanguard them. And they're skirmished in this instances as well. So just wanted to have them. They're going to be shooting 1 turn, and they're going to be standing shooting the next turn.
Nice.
And let's see how much damage we can do, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of knights behind that to kind of clean it up. So Yeah, maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe Danny needs to save me with my list writing.
I
No,
think no, I think these guys are cool. You should
that'd be
definitely
cool.
try them out. I don't really know how I feel about them. I feel like they're good. Like I would definitely take 1 unit.
Yep.
I don't know that I would take 2, but I would for sure take 1 because they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're for 10. There's for 10 of them, they're only 95 points for 10
Yeah.
with all the jank on them. So it didn't feel like that was a huge ask. I'm still trying to figure out, like, it feels like the characters in the Bretonnian army are super pricey. So being able to fit your big beefy characters in and enough stuff to play the game, it seems to be the balancing act. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that's tough. I think a lot of people focus character heavy.
Mhm.
I don't know that you have to, but it's going to be an interesting balancing act deciding like which direction you want to go. All the armies that I've played so far have had level 4s in them, so I haven't tried to make the concession of only having a level 2 yet.
Mhm.
So I'm interested to see how that affects my army list when I play an army like that. Like I think that that'll be a really big change for me, not being able to like control all my opponent's magic quite as well as I have been. So
Yeah.
yeah, tough choices to make because you definitely want a fighting lord for the leadership because leadership is across the game lower, I would say.
Mhm.
So yeah, you definitely want a lord level character to like a leadership 10 or leadership 9 guy if you
Yep.
can.
100%. Cool. I like the horse. Every time there's a picture, there's always the horses look so scared. They're just like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah, dude. Horses just want to eat plants, dude. They don't want to get in fights.
Yeah. Is it you that have a thing against horses? I can't.
I hate horses because they're too. It's because they're too weak and stupid. Even though they're twice the size of people and 4 times as like a million times stronger than a person, but yet they're still slaves to us.
Well, they're just dum-dums.
Big idiots.
Okay.
They smell terrible. God, I hate the smell of
They don't
horses.
smell terrible. You hate the smell of horses?
I hate horses' smell. Ugh.
It's time to step into the grim darkness where nerds gather talking Warhammer madness. Grim After Dark, the podcast with the hosts John, Danny, and Val, but they're not the most. Claiming to be experts, but it's all a facade. Talking about battles and dice rolls, they're all odd. Trying to sound cool with their Warhammer talk, but I'm here to expose. It's all just squawk. Nerds, everywhere I see talking Warhammer this, like it's a decree. But let me tell you, homie, it is all just a game. In the real world, homie, we are not the same. So put down the dice, step out of the dark. It's time to live life, nerd, make your own mark. Grim After Dark, the nerds playground. Talking Warhammer this, acting all profound. But when I listen, it's all just a bunch of noise. I love roasting nerds and their stupid ass toys. Stupid ass toys, I wanna grab them, put my hands around the neck, squeeze, Warhammer squeeze, until they can't breathe again. Tell a friend, I'm out here roasting nerds again.